All right, I think we made it. September 6th, 2024. It is the Friday jobs report day. We're going to be talking about that along with XRP ledger developments exploding and business partnership developments exploding as well. We're going to revisit an old partnership, an oldie but a goodie in SBI Holdings very closely with Ripple. And then we're also going to be talking about the news that came out this morning. Chris Larsen, one of the co-founders of Ripple, supporting and endorsing Kamala Harris for president. Now, I want you guys to let me know, am I pronouncing Kamala wrong? Because every time I mention her name in a video, somebody tells me that I'm pronouncing her name wrong. I don't know. I'm trying out of respect. Kamala Harris for president. So let's get started here this morning. It's going to be a quick one. Full update, though. We got a lot to cover. I'm going to get right on into it. Everything's at ZachRector.com. You guys already know the deal. Let's rock and roll. Jobs report comes out today. Market's not liking it. In particular, Bitcoin not liking it. Down to 54,200 right now. We did break below 54,000. For Ethereum, it's back below 2,300. For XRP, if you wanted it at 52 cents, you got it at 52 cents. Now, many of us are tired of talking about XRP at 52 cents, myself included. I'd love to see it at $5. I'd love to see it at $50. And I think that day is coming. I'm going to be talking about this later in this episode. Folks just don't get it. When a positive development comes out, it's not going to necessarily lead to price action today. And that's what I'm going to be talking about, is that there's been so much happening, so many big announcements that just came out of Asia, with Ripple doing a little bit of a roadshow too, where they started in Japan at, WebEx Asia. And then they moved on over to Korea for the Korea Blockchain Week, hosting events at both. And, once again, dominating really their presence, so dominating wherever they go. And so we're going to talk about that later in this episode. Very important to understand that we still have turbulence in the broader markets. I'm going to go through the economic data points to show you what's happening. Now, speaking of support, let's talk about it. Putin comes out yesterday, says we are supporting Kamala just like Biden recommended. And he says, quote, if we can name a favorite candidate, it used to be Joe Biden, but now he's not participating in the election campaign. And he recommended to all his allies to support Ms. Harris. So that is what we are going to do. So we have additional support for Kamala from Putin. And we also get Chris Larsen, Ripple co-founder and executive chairman, Chris Larsen coming out this morning and endorsing Kamala Harris, along with, I think, another 88. I think it was like 88 total, basically executives across multiple industries came out this morning and supported Kamala. What was my hot take? This is Chris just playing his part. Don't forget that the chief legal officer, Stuart Alderati, already donated XRP to Trump. Ripple is hedging their bets. I do not believe for 1 second that Chris Larsen supports the policies of Kamala. In particular, do you think that a guy who basically is $1 trillion man with the amount of XRP that he has, he got all of that XRP at zero cost basis, do you seriously think that he would support an unrealized capital gains tax? A man that has a zero cost basis on a bunch of XRP. We don't know how much he has right now. He had over, billions of XRP, and he was called one of the $1 trillion mans along with David Schwartz. Do you guys really think that they could sit down and support an unrealized capital gains tax in their position? There's not a chance. But do you think that as an executive chairman and as someone who allows Ripple to stay nonpartisan with this move, but allows them to also hedge their bets? And what do I mean? What I mean by that is you got Chief Legal Officer Stuart Alderati donating XRP. Yeah, he donated XRP, not cash. He donated XRP to Donald Trump's campaign. Very public about that. And then you have Chris Larsen, who's now supporting Kamala. Now, he's not putting his money where his mouth is, or maybe he is. I haven't seen whether or not Chris Larsen has donated anything yet. We'll see if he does. We'll see if he puts his money where his mouth is. But right now, he's saying openly, I support Kamala, and he's taking one for the team. That's what this is, guys. This is politics at the highest level, and what this allows to take place here is it allows Ripple to position themselves and hedge their bets accordingly, no matter who gets elected. Now, we've seen the connections going back to the Trump White House already. We know that many of the team members there from Ripple were already meeting with Trump's White House, and they actually were part of helping Steve Mnuchin draft Executive Order 13772. So you can't forget these things. just because Chris Larson, someone who's not an active participant in the company, he's just an executive chairman, which is a role, basically overseeing the company. That is, not Ripple coming out and supporting Kamala. That is one person, and there's many people at Ripple that support Kamala. You can guarantee that. A company based out of San Francisco. And I joked about it when Chief Legal Officer Sue Alvarado donated to Trump. I said, well, you know that there's some folks at Ripple that are absolutely, upset with that endorsement. But that's all right. We should be in a place in America where your coworker can support somebody and you can respect that, right? Now, like I said, they're hedging, they're playing politics, and if it's going to get us out of this lawsuit, if it's going to help us get into the clear, that's all right with me. There's no chance, in my opinion, that Kamala is actually going to win. So we'll see how it plays out. You guys let me know in the comments down below how it makes you feel. Let's continue talking here. Russia will increase its gold purchases from 1.12 billion rubles per day to 8.2 billion rubles per day for the next month. This is a big increase. So Putin is supporting Kamala, and at the same time, he's hedging his bets by stacking a record amount of gold. If you guys are looking to get the precious metals, it's at my website, ZachRector.com. Let's get into the jobs report. The U.S. economy has added 142,000 jobs in August, but this is well below expectations of 164,000. The unemployment rate was 4.2%, in line with expectations of 4.2%. Now, so unemployment rate is in line, jobs is a miss, but let's go into the details here a little bit further. The unemployment is back on the decline. The labor market is cracking. What is the Fed going to do at this next meeting? That's what the market is reacting to. We dive into this a little bit further, and of course, there was more revisions. July was revised lower by 25,000 jobs. June was revised lower by 61,000 jobs. And remember, this comes on the back of the major revision we had over that 1 year span, basically from March, April of last year, 2023, until March, April of this year. 818,000 jobs were a lie. It's all a big lie. And it's well outside of the average margin that they give. They have about a 3% margin. They say, we're just statisticians. You can't beat us up too much. We have a margin here of a few percent. We're way outside. 818,000 jobs were a lie. Every single month, it's a lie. Every single month, it's a continued manipulation of the data and the mainstream media putting the spin on it. When you look at this, this is not pretty if you are a native-born worker. Now, if you're a foreign-born worker, maybe you were one of the 635,000 foreign-born workers that got a job in August. Congratulations. That's great. Now, if you were a native-born worker, maybe you were one of the 1.325 million that lost their job in August. Do you see what's happening here? Do you see how they've set up the middle class and poor of this country? Even the folks that are making it, you're getting wiped out by inflation. This is the situation at hand. You are one of the 1.3 million that lost a job? Well, maybe you can go out and find one. Let's take a look at it. Oh, wait. U.S. job openings also just dropped to 7.67 million in July from 7.91 million in June, the lowest level of job openings we've seen since January of 2021. U.S. available vacancies materially missed expectations of 8.09 million, another miss. Since the March 2022 peak, job openings have declined by a massive 4.5 million, or 38%. And they still want to talk about a soft landing. They still want to talk about we're going to avoid a recession. The most notable drop was seen in construction openings, which fell to 248,000 in July, their lowest since October of 2020. And if you don't know, our real estate economy, our real estate market is about, I think, almost 30% of our GDP. It's a massive part of our economy. So this is a telltale sign right here. Construction openings falling to their lowest level since October 2020. Not good. Not good. Meanwhile, the ratio of job vacancies to unemployed workers fell to 1.07 in July, in line with 2018 levels. The U.S. labor market is now weaker than it was before 2020. That is our current situation. You want more data? Well, here you go. U.S. pending home sales falling to a level that we haven't seen since below the great financial crisis. That's right. U.S. pending home sales dropping off. Mortgage applications falling to a level that we haven't seen in 30 plus years. What the heck do you define as a soft landing? That's my question. because I am defining it as hopefully you have a nice, soft, plush couch because you're going to have to plant your butt on it after you lose your job. That's where we're at. That's what they mean by a soft landing as far as I'm concerned, is you better have a nice, plush couch to plop your butt on. And when we continue on here, this setup is so simple. We've seen it time and time again, yet folks think that we're going to avoid a recession. George Gammon summarizes. The yield curve inverts, correct, and the inversion just came through. Bull steepener, yes. Final blow off top, Dow Jones just set that new all-time high. Unemployment spikes, yes. Still at 4.2%, but look at the jobs numbers just came out today. It's terrible. Next, the Fed cuts rates. Now, Wall Street, media, everybody wants to debate. Are we going to get a 25 basis point cut? Are we going to get a 50 basis? Does it matter? No. Because historically what we've seen is that the Fed cutting rates is a sign that things are absolutely terrible, our economy is already broken, and this is a last-ditch effort. It's the only other lever that they have other than turning back on the money printer. But first, they got to lower interest rates. Then they can turn back on the money printer. And we've seen this time and time again. This time isn't different. It's literally playing out the exact same it has almost every time going back to the 1950s. This is why Warren the Buffett has been hedging, talk about hedging, with 270, 280 billion cash or whatever he's at, right? And that's Berkshire Hathaway. That's not Warren Buffett personally, but big amount of cash for Warren Buffett. I've been saying myself, I got my little bag of cash. You got to be able to ride out this storm. They've been lying to us for the last 2 years about us being in a recession, avoiding a soft landing, and acting like the Fed is going to orchestrate some beautiful symphony that brings us back to economic paradise. It's an absolute lie. And no matter who gets elected, Chris Larson supporting Kamala, Putin supporting Kamala, some folks are supporting Trump. No matter who you support, no matter who offends you, no matter who you love, no matter who gets you excited when they speak, understand what's already happening. The rug has been pulled out under Main Street economy here in the United States. And if you're not prepared, if you're not hedged, you're going to get wiped out clean. You know who else is worried about getting wiped out? That would be the banks. And as I've been talking about, they've been in full panic over the Basel III requirements. They're not ready to actually have collateral that backs their obligations and liabilities and derivatives exposure. And so what we see here just recently, and I talked about this, if you guys missed the interview that I had with Lynette Zhang, make sure you guys go back and check that one out. That's in the interview playlist on my YouTube channel. I just had Lynette Zhang on, and then we had Michael Guyad on. I talked about this with both of them, about how we have a global margin call underway. The banks know they're in trouble, and they're freaking out about Basel III requirements. And you know they're freaking out because the bankster shills like Elizabeth, I got a plan for you, Warren, she's one of many politicians in D.C. that when Jerome Powell comes in to testify, they've all been freaking out and crying. Oh, Daddy Powell, you can't do this to us just yet. Not quite yet. We're not ready. And of course, the banksters, just like in the great financial crisis, they're getting their way. Jamie Dimon has succeeded in crushing Jerome, the eunuch Powell. This is from the Butcher of Wall Street, Marcel, which, by the way, we're going to be getting Marcel back on the show here shortly. JP Morgan's execs were terrified of the Fed's new Basel III endgame requirements for increasing their margin. The Fed was going to raise their capital requirements by 25% under Basel III, but have settled on only 7.8 increase, as a higher capital requirement would restrict JP Morgan's ability to prop up its share price with multi-billion-dollar stock buybacks each year and provide lavish multi-million-dollar bonuses to Dimon. Margin calls are coming, but not today, thanks to the eunuch, Jerome Powell. So the negotiations have been happening over here, and it looks like the initial proposal was 25%. They're bringing it down to 7.8%. They can't handle this. They're broken. They're bust. And to their, to the tune of unrealized losses at over $500 billion for their bonds. I just looked at a data point on the real estate. It's about almost $5 trillion, I believe, in real estate that needs to be restructured over the coming years. There's, I think, over $1 trillion that needs to be restructured in the next year. They're, to put it nicely, they're crap in their pants, right? They're not ready for this. But of course, just like during the great financial crisis, instead of addressing the real problem, no, we set up bailouts, and we literally bailed out through taxpayer dollars those that were systemically important. Now they've restructured it for bail-ins. So if you're a depositor at these banks, they can actually bail you in and take your deposits. That's not enough, though. Now Kamala wants to do unrealized capital gains. So let's take your gains that you haven't even realized yet, right? That's the next step, which will never happen, by the way. But, it's for the socialist communist wing of the party, it's really attractive. It really wins over some votes over there to the most extreme part of the party. But that's who they want to cater to. So good luck. God bless. We'll see how it works out in November, won't we? Now, continuing on, we're going to see how this one works out in November for Elizabeth. I got a plan for you peasants, Warren. And the reason why I'm bringing back up this oldie, but it's a goodie, is because remember, this was the initial reaction that Elizabeth Warren had when John Deaton announced his campaign. When our good friend John Deaton, good friend of the XRP Army, when he announced his campaign, this was the initial response from Elizabeth. And for those of you guys that missed it, John did win the primary this week, and so he is now going up head-to-head against Elizabeth Warren. He was able to defeat Elizabeth Warren's plant, Chuck, what was his name? Chucky Ian, I forget his name. He's basically irrelevant and will be forgotten about now. Love it. I love it. Nice try. Sit back down. Go back to your little handler, Elizabeth Warren, and we'll see what else you've accomplished. Nothing so far. And you did not stand a chance against John Deaton. So, yeah, return back with your tail between your legs to Elizabeth Warren, and maybe you can help her out because she's going to need it. And Camp Warren's been in full panic ever since John Deaton announced his campaign. Remember, this was her initial response. Apparently, the mega Republican machine couldn't find a single Republican in Massachusetts to run against me. So they brought in someone from Rhode Island who will have the backing of the GOP and special interest groups. Now, the only special interest group that supports John Deaton is crypto. It's the only one. And if you actually go back and you look at John Deaton's history, he's actually not a Trump supporter. He's actually openly criticized Donald Trump. Now, in the end, I do believe that John Deaton will get the endorsement from Trump. I think that it's time to come together. Things have changed since John Deaton put out the initial criticisms of Donald Trump, right? So I think eventually, and if Donald Trump wants to see Elizabeth dethroned, like so many of us do, the right thing to do is going to be come to the table with John Deaton. They can work out a deal, and the endorsement should be done. And I believe that that will help John Deaton propel him to victory against Elizabeth Warren. But I bring this up to share once again that it's been nothing but lies from Elizabeth Warren when this initially got announced, saying that he's mega Republican machine. John Deaton is anything but that, right? He's been supported by grassroots from the very beginning. And he's got supporters outside of Massachusetts. He got supporters across the country. And the reason why Elizabeth Warren is so worried about this is because his support even goes worldwide, which is what's so important about this moment here, where XRP starts to go viral. As I title this episode tonight, this morning. I'm so used to going live in the evening. Here we are, first thing Friday morning. I hope you guys are doing well. If you guys haven't already, please make sure you guys like this video and help me out by sharing out our content far and wide. Really do appreciate it. They have been so worried about John Deaton because his messaging is directly on point. Food stamp warrior, perfect background, epitome of the American dream. Complete opposite of Elizabeth Warren, plant by the bankers, shill of the banksters and special interest groups herself. She's projecting on John, and it's been nothing but panic in Camp Warren. I can't wait to see John Deaton defeat her come this November. Let's continue. We're talking crypto, and we got Trump at the Economic Council yesterday, Economic Club in New York, I should say, saying, I will make America the world capital for crypto and Bitcoin. Quote, I'm pledging today that in my second term, we will eliminate a minimum of 10 old regulations for every new one enacted. So if you want one new regulation, we're going to cut or eliminate 10. How about that? We'll be able to do that quite easily, actually. And instead of attacking industries of the future, we will embrace them, including making America the world capital for crypto and Bitcoin. So Donald Trump doubling down on his crypto bet, which was kind of funny in that speech. The Economic Club in New York was not as receptive to the statement there as maybe the Bitcoin conference or other crowds would be, right? He said that, and then the crowd kind of started to clap, and then it started to clap a little bit more. It's like kind of a forced clap for that statement. And you can always see it in Trump's face when he said it. Crypto and Bitcoin. It's like he's tired of talking about Bitcoin already, as am I. There's so much more to crypto than Bitcoin. And this is what so many of us want to see. As he mentioned, stablecoins are going to be key to expanding US dollar dominance, which is coming. One of the many developments that's coming for Ripple XRP. As I was saying, I got off track there. The title of the video, XRP Developments, right? It's all part of it. John Deaton going viral, taking on Elizabeth Warren. Donald Trump making crypto great again here in the United States of America. All part of it. Now, if you're wondering why is crypto going down, despite all these great developments, why is XRP going down? It's because we're seeing the second biggest outflow from crypto on record just took place. We have entered a risk-off environment as the recession fears are looming, the jobs reports coming out. I mean, our economy, our world is going to hell in a handbasket, essentially. And in this environment, crypto's now starting to struggle a little bit because we've gone risk-off. People want a flight to safety. They're going to cash. They're getting out of crypto. And so is this, because nothing good is happening for XRP, that's why it's going down? Is XRP going down because Chris Larson endorsed Kamala? No. This is XRP trading with the broader crypto market. But despite that fact, you need to focus on the developments that are happening in our ecosystem that will lead to XRP price action. If you want to pump XRP, if you want to see XRP go up, you need these types of developments that we're seeing taking place. Massive announcements that just came out of Asia. Remember, Ripple just announced the Asia fund, right? The Japan fund and the Korea fund. So they're going to be donating, or not donating, but they're going to be granting XRP and resources to those that are developing in Japan and Korea, and they love XRP over there. Now, when we look at this, right here, you have SBI Holdings. Let's translate this post from Emi Yoshikawa. Huge shout out to Emi. Really appreciate her. All the updates that she's been sharing in Korea and Japan. Huge shout out to Emi. She says, I visited SBI Holdings today and had a wide range of discussions. Mr. Kondo and Mr. Okayama from SBI will be speaking at tomorrow's XRP community event. I'm looking forward to it. Now, right here, you have Brad Garlinghouse right in the middle. Let's take a look at this picture. Brad Garlinghouse right in the middle. Monica Long, the president of Ripple over here. Emi Yoshikawa, strategic VP of strategic partnerships. And this is at SBI. So for those that have been wondering, is SBI still interested in XRP? There's been some attention that they announced, some work on XDC, some developments over there. Oh, are they abandoning XRP? No, they're not going anywhere. In fact, the relationship with Ripple has only grown closer lately. And so what I want folks to focus on, despite the markets being down here today, where do fundamentals continue to grow? Are fundamentals continuing to grow for Solana? No. The meme coins are dropping off. The volumes are dropping off, right? And, the VCs have pumped it up. They got their money out. The FTX bankruptcy got their money out, and they're happy, and it's falling off. We're watching that on-chain data. The volume's falling off right now. You look around at the other ecosystems. What's happening on Ethereum? What's happening on some of these others? There's nothing new. Right? There's a new meme coin launched on the blockchain. What is that doing, right? It's not doing much. But when you look at the XRP ecosystem and what's happening right now, we're getting all these additional utilities. We're in a unique position where we're about to have legal clarity in the United States. Outside of the United States, the partnerships continue to grow and expand, like this right here with SBI. Oh, is SBI abandoning XRP? Far from it. It's actually the complete opposite. They haven't left. They haven't gone anywhere. They're actually running a validator now on the XRP ledger. And when you look at what Ripple's doing here, just like they're supporting, like they got Chris Larson endorsing Kamala. On the other side, Stuart Alderati supporting Trump, donating, not just talking about it, putting his money where his mouth is. And you see Ripple's been hedging their bets in the political landscape here in the United States, but they've also been expanding outside of the U.S. continuously while this lawsuit's been going on. And what folks are getting distracted by is today's price action taken away from fundamentals. And I get it. Folks saw the news today and they're thinking, oh, I want to sell off my XRP. You know, Chris Larson's going to support Kamala and support the administration that's been attacking crypto. I get it. I get the frustration. I would never sell my soul like that. I would never sell my soul for positioning like that. I don't care what it means. I would never put my name behind those policies. I'm not even talking about Kamala. I would never put my name as an American behind those policies because they're un-American. They're unconstitutional, and they would destroy our country. Don't take it from me. Take it from Democrat Mark Cuban, who himself said that Kamala's unrealized capital gains would destroy and wipe out our stock market. Don't take it from me. Take it from their very own. Mark Cuban. Talk about selling your soul and talk about being a shill and talk about being historically wrong. We know how that's going to play out for him. Dennis, I see you coming through with a super chat. I was in Seoul Airport and a group of young Korean guys were talking about XRP. See, they love XRP over in Korea, in Japan, over in the APAC region. Ripple's been dominating because they have so many remittances over there. These are folks that, you know, work across borders, send money across borders. There's so much that's happened over there. Despite this lawsuit, Ripple has dominated in APAC. You look at other regions, Middle East, dominating. North Africa, dominating. They've expanded out into Africa some. Key partnerships like MFS Africa have brought in corridors, 40 plus corridors within Africa. That's important, right? But now, I want to conclude this episode here by talking about the smart contracts too, right? So, like I said, when you look around at all these other blockchains, they already had NFTs, they already had AMMs, they already had smart contracts, they already had meme coins. They are peaking out. Every other blockchain right now is peaking out. What's new for Bitcoin? What could push Bitcoin next? Is the United States going to announce a Bitcoin strategic reserve? Is some other billionaire going to buy Bitcoin? That's all that's left for Bitcoin. There is no utility. There is no the layer twos have all been, relatively weak, haven't been able to accomplish much. Basically, are the antithesis of the Bitcoin model. So what is next? What is next for these other blockchains? They've already had all these utilities. On the other side, on the flip side of that with XRP, we're just now getting all of this. These are all bullish catalysts. Now, the announcement will come out, right? Ripple says, we want to bring smart contracts, and the price of XRP goes down because it's trading with the rest of the crypto space, and folks get confused. They only see today's price. They underestimate and discount and disregard, and they're distracted, so they don't even realize the fundamental value that just got added to our thesis. With smart contracts now coming and programmability coming to the XRP ledger, you're actually going to be able to build something out here. And there's already been a bunch of development in the XRP ledger ecosystem. It only gets better from here. So I'm saying, when you look at utilities, when you look at ETFs, right? Bitcoin already had an ETF. Ethereum already had an ETF. It was way weaker, much more weaker than Bitcoin's ETF. What's next for Solana? Okay, Solana could get an ETF, right? We still have ETF catalysts for XRP. We have more utilities coming for XRP. We have the Ripple IPO, still another catalyst. Is it going to happen anytime soon? No. And Ripple just updated us with that, and we're going to be talking about that in one of my upcoming videos. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that, because I'm going to be dropping more content later today talking about Ripple announcing that they're not going to be IPOing in the United States at least anytime soon. And we're going to continue to watch what's happening here with the broader markets, reacting to the jobs report today. A little bit further of a breakdown to happen. This is something that I've expected and been talking about, right? Correction before election. I want to make sure you guys are prepared. So if you guys haven't already, please make sure you have subscribed, hit that notification bell. Everything's at ZachRector.com. If you want to get in touch with me, it's all there at my website. I see that Tom just dropped a super chat as well. I want to make sure that I didn't miss any others. I appreciate your guys' support. James, another 2-spot. Always great content. XRP time is coming. I appreciate the love and support from you guys. I hope you guys appreciated this very quick. We wrapped this one up in 30 minutes. That's a pretty quick live for me. I'm about to go hop on. I got a one-on-one call here starting in a few minutes. If you guys are looking to get tapped in, you want to sit down with me one-on-one, that is now available at my website, ZachRector.com. Everything's there. all of our community resources, and I greatly appreciate your support. I'll see you guys in the next one.